Hey everybody, what's up? And welcome to the Coffee Comment this Sunday. I'm Mecca.
And you know your girl Ryan. And welcome. This week.
This week we were gonna talk about some sexual topics. We was gonna talk about sex this weekend, but the current events that have occurred led us to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, the senseless violence that's going on, and police brutality once again. You will be happy to know that we now have longer shows. Woo! We now have longer shows for you guys, so that means, deeper topics. Like I said, the next topic, talk about sex. So, it's time for guest speakers. And
so we're going back to our relationship
series next week. We will be back.
Took a pause. We took a pause.
Because we need to really talk about what's going on and what matters. And it wouldn't be right to have this platform and not address the issues. So let's get right into it.
Well, it started with the whole Alton situation or shooting, and it was just unbelievable. It's like, okay, when I woke up and I saw that, I said, God, another black man getting shot by police. What the hell? And then the next day,
it actually wasn't the next day, it was literally that night, because I remember not being able to sleep, and my sister said, Mecca, and I'm like, what? And she's like, they shot somebody else. And this is literally after all day looking on my Facebook and my Instagram repeatedly. And this was literally probably like midnight, 1 o'clock. And she's like, they shot somebody else. His girlfriend's on Facebook Live right now. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, literally, it was less than 24 hours. It wasn't even 24 hours. But the story, of course, surfaced, the media and social media and everything, the next day. Yeah, I was so confused.
I was lost for words. I was just lost. It was just like, okay, what? It was almost like, okay, this cannot really be happening, but it's happening. And it really made me feel totally sad because of the simple fact that I have sons, and it just really had me start to think about my children, because they're going to be going off to college in about a year and a half, and they're going to be out there, and I'm not going to be there to protect them. And just knowing that there are cops that are just, they just don't care about us. Yep. And they're just shooting us and killing us for no apparent reason.
Like I said on my Facebook, you don't even have to be, back in the day, I'm young, but I know that before, they were literally on the street looking for gang members and looking for thugs. And it's like, now you don't even have to be a thug. You don't have to be, they're going to have their perception of you, period. You can have what their white wife has, and they're still going to look at you as a black male or a black female. And if they don't like you, or if they having a tough day that day, they're going to take it out on you, period. And like I said also on my Facebook, I'm scared. I'm awful. I see what they're doing to our men. I see what they're doing to our children and everything. But Sandra Bland, she didn't do nothing. And I'm scared as a woman, especially with all of these laws that they have. I mean, I know very well that you are supposed to drive with insurance. You are supposed to drive with a license, and et cetera, et cetera. But, what if you just so happen to drive and you get pulled over? You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what kind of officer you're going to get. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like, the reason why they say it's an illusion is because when you do get pulled over, you might get that lenient cop, and they're just like, okay, ma'am, as long as you buy your insurance right now, or here's your ticket, and go about your business. And then you go home and you get on TV, you watch TV, and a cop that pulls somebody over for probably the same thing just like beat you. And it's kind of like, am I in a dream? Like, I didn't get killed. Like, or, you sit there and think that could have been me over something small. And like I said, yeah, you're supposed to be driving with your license or registration or whatever the case is they pulled you over for. But it's like, that could have been me. And that's why I'm scared. I'm scared for my cousins. They have little kids, little boys, and they're men and they go about their day walking or taking public transportation or driving with a friend. And it does get scary just not knowing what's going to happen or where your life is going to be when a cop approaches you. And it shouldn't be like that because they're supposed to be for protection.
Correct. And also on the flip side to that is also talking about the Dallas police officers that were murdered. And I totally am against that because it's just, once again, more senseless violence. You can't solve anything by doing the same thing. Like you can't be violence. Two wrongs don't make a right. So you can't have violence and it's going to solve it. That's just not the answer. And so I'm glad that they did say that, this guy was not affiliated with the Black Lives Matter movement, because that has gotten a bad rap too.
For no reason at all.
That has gotten a bad rap. It's like anytime you see a black face on the TV screen and it's in relation of some sort to the situation that's going on in the world, they always want to say, oh, they're part of that Black Lives Matter movement. That's not that's not true.
No,
there are extremists out there that are doing things like the sniper did, shooting cops. The Black Lives Matter movement is not about violence. They're actually about educating, people, black, white, whomever, on the matters that are going on in the world. How can we solve this problem? How can it be do it in a non-violent, aggressive manner? They're also out there teaching black people about being involved in their black-owned businesses and investing money and whatnot there, opposed to investing into, these commercial or what they're calling white-owned businesses. So it's not a negative movement. It's just that we have people out there that are doing extreme aggressive things, so we just get labeled as a whole as, oh, the Black Lives movement is just aggressive and all they do is hate white people and that's all they want to do.
I feel like the people that label the Black Lives Matter movement a bad thing, I feel like, sorry, this is real, this is, what we came to talk about. I feel like they're racist them goddamn selves. They're cowards, just like these police officers that are beating and killing people, innocent people, for no goddamn reason. They're being cowards and they're getting scared. So you're getting scared of something you don't know. How about you sit down and understand it? Even when we sit down and protest, or we hashtag, or we put something on Instagram or Facebook, we say being pro-black is not being anti-white. Nobody's against you. Nobody's trying to say, let's go tear up their towns and let's go do this and that. It's like we can't win for losing. We're already losing. We're trying to be the civilized, quote unquote, black people that y'all want us to be. And we're sitting here and we have signs. We are working with congressmen. We are working with mayors. We're trying to work with the president. We are working with any positive thing, or person to a community, and you're still calling us animals. You're still calling us thugs. You're still calling us a gang. We haven't touched anybody. We don't bring guns to these rallies. We don't go, it could have been damn LA riots every time somebody killed somebody, but we're out here just literally walking saying, can you please treat us like humans? And we're getting labeled. That whole thing just irritates me because we're still getting labeled thugs. We're not even doing anything. Simply standing in the middle of the street with our hands in the air. You don't see anything on us, and we're being labeled still thugs and gang members.
The only thing that I have with that, and I love the protesters and everything. I actually would have been out there Friday. My only reason that I was not out there Friday, I feel like it was still a lot of anger that's going on. And I didn't want, because I would have brought my sons out there. I just didn't want to get caught up in anything that may happen there, just like it did in Dallas,
Right.
how it was a peaceful, protest, but then that sniper, I didn't want to be in an unsafe environment. Now, if, we'll still be protesting, and definitely I will be at a next one, but I wasn't going to go down there Friday because I just didn't know that, tensions were still high, and I wasn't going to put my life nor my children's life in that type of, danger. But just as far as the protesting goes, I greatly am so proud of my Atlanta people who did go down there and protest, and it was peaceful. What I did not get, and what I may catch hell for when I say this, but what I did not get is that the rally or the protesting was from 4 to 8 o'clock. Why were people still out there at 11 o'clock? To the point that police officers had to start arresting people. And it's like, to me, I took it as the protesters that were still out there at 10, 11 o'clock at night. To me, it seems like you were poking the bear. It's like you were trying to provoke the police officers to do something so that you can use your phones and your cameras and be like, right. Oh my God, look what they're doing to us. Look what they're doing to us. And I'm like, that's totally not fair. And the fact that, those who did get arrested down there, I'm not mad at the police. They end up doing their job, and they was doing it right. Nobody got hurt. I never heard about nobody getting beat or whatnot in that whole process. But these people who are doing the protesting, they are very young, and they're not totally educated on how to do these rallies and this protesting. And they're trying to be like, they want to get this label of modern day Martin Luther King. It's like, but if you do your research, do your homework, even if you don't, read or Google things, you can watch movies. You will see that even Martin Luther, he organized his rallies, his marches were organized, and so that things would not break out as such. It was very organized, it was peaceful and everything. That's what I feel like these people, the young people that want to go out there and march, I'm very proud of y'all. Hands, I'm clapping hands for you. But the thing about it is, you guys are going in there reckless.
I feel like it's more of a mixed thing because you have it's more of mixed knowledge. Like you said, some of them aren't properly because you have the peaceful, we're gonna be Martin Luther King, and then you got some people whose family, like my grandma, who was part of Black Panthers, who was part of Malcolm X, and they not taking no stuff no more. It's just like, okay, we done tried the peaceful way. Now it's time to get rowdy. I understand that you're angry. We're all angry, but if we all do that, it's just going to be a horrible war. It's not going to be safe. And I had a cookout the other day, and we were all talking about this issue, and my aunt was like, I think it's about to be the next purge. Like, everybody's going to stay in the house. Nobody's going to do anything because you scared of your neighbor. You don't know what your neighbor's intentions are. You're scared of the police officers. You're scared of, like Ryan said, you want to go out and be peaceful, but you don't know what's going to pop off. You don't know if you're safe, your children's safe, or whatever loved one you have, your friend out there protesting for a good cause, and then you don't know what's going to pop off.
I just say for the younger people who are going to be doing these marches and doing, protesting, it's like, be safe, be smart, plan, organize, get these things planned and organized. Because just like they went down there the next day and it was just chaos. It's like, if you guys want to make a point, and so that, these people are not looking at us like, okay, here they go again, Black people being aggressive, Black people looking like monkeys or animals, come a different direction. This is exactly what I was been saying on my Facebook page. I'm like, we need to come at this at a different angle. We can't come at this and angry and ready to attack. We have to come with none of this violence. It doesn't make sense.
This is where I shut up, and I know it's probably wrong because us as millennials and older people, we should all be doing something. But this is where I shut up because literally I'm sitting here thinking because my heart is heavy. You know, we all going through our own personal things, but we have to literally see this. It hits home. Like, I don't have sons, I don't have kids, but like I said, I have my brothers, just, you know, my cousins, and just to think what happened, what would happen if, what would I want done if this was to happen to them. I don't want to think like that. I want to do something now, but I'm literally sitting in my apartment thinking, what is the solution? What's the solution? Because we have, like we said, peaceful protests going on, and then we have the violence. What is a happy medium? What is a solution? What do you think is going to work? Because we're, like I said, we're doing everything. We're working with the councilman. We're working with the Boys and Girls Club. We trying to be positive and do everything, and then we tear stuff down, and it's like, okay, don't shoot at the cops. Don't tear up your neighborhood. Don't go harassing any old white person you see. But what do? That's where I feel like I just need to I feel like I'm at a loss of words because I don't know what's the proper solution. Like, what can we do? It's just getting really sad, and it's getting scary, and it's becoming it's just becoming a nuisance because you get bothered by like looking at it, then you get bothered with yourself because you don't know how to participate and how to help.
It's, you want to do so much, but then you're like, okay, what can I do? And honestly, the smallest things make the loudest noises. Honestly, like I like what Killer Mike is trying to do with getting Black people involved, or getting them to sign up with banking accounts at Black-owned banks, and like I said, investing money and into the Black-owned companies.
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot too.
I think that's his goal, is to get 1 million Black people into getting bank accounts at Black-owned banks.
And what was that city? Darn it, it's right on the tip of my tongue, and I can't find it right now. There's a city right now that actually shut down a whole entire mall because they didn't want to put their money into into businesses that weren't completely Black owned. Solange, she put a list of 21 Black banks on SaintHaron.com. And I know another friend of mine, Bianca Lumini from high school, she's really, Afrocentric, really into what my mother called the powers that be. And so she posted a lot of Black-owned businesses, which my aunt was doing for a while as well, to support Black businesses. Restaurants, barbershops, hair salons, clothing stores, and we have to do it without expecting a discount. We have to do it just as well as we walk into a Forever 21 or Louis Vuitton or whatever. We have to just go to these neighborhoods and go to these stores and these businesses and shop with no problem and support our people without trying to be extra about it. Like we said, asking for discounts or expecting them to automatically look out for you. We're already looking out for each other because our money is being spent well and they're succeeding in their businesses. This police officer's dying in Dallas. Like we said before, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Not every officer is a bad officer. But if you guys were listening as well to the radio, Peter Rosenberg of Hot 97 up north, he spoke.
Hot. He was hot.
Why is it that it's kind of like we can't be on your side too much because why don't the good...
They don't want. It's like
nobody want to lose their job, but right is right and wrong is wrong. You got judges out here and other people that's speaking up and saying this is dead ass wrong. Like, I'm a judge. I'm a part of the system. I'm a probation officer. I'm a part of the system. I'm a attorney or whatever. I'm a person, and this is wrong. So why aren't the good cops not speaking up for the rest of the good cops? It's okay to say that this partner is wrong because I know that when you were trained, if you had a bad partner, you didn't want to be, you stayed shut and you stood back because you didn't want to be scrutinized for being that bad cop.
But
I do feel, I am very sad for the families that lost their husbands or brothers or whatever, what have you, because that's sad. Because the same week somebody lost their dad, their father, and turn around, you're a cop, and the same thing happens. So it's an eye for an eye, but it's sad.
I mean, my brother just became a cop, and that freaks me out.
And that's another thing I was gonna mention. A lot of people from my city of North are trying to tell the Black and Hispanics, listen, let's apply to to the academy so we can get more of us on the streets that really want to help and really want to save, and don't get in the position if you are going to abuse your authority. So that's another plan of action we could take, is applying to the police academy, going through the training, if that's what your heart desires.
But I've also heard that police officers themselves are saying that the training is not that great, and they need to enhance the training. And not even that, they actually need to do deep background checks on these police officers that they're putting these badges on, because some of them are not mentally stable. Now, you can pass all of these lie detectors and whatnot as long as you stay calm, and you can pass these things. But they really need to do some long evaluations on these police officers before they even become, because even my brother, he's going through the academy now. I still think that they should be doing evaluations even through the academy. While they're doing this training, you still need to be doing evaluations even when they have been through the academy and they're now a full-fledged officer. They should be still doing these evaluations.
You know what a judge said? A judge mentioned that. She said, there's a lot of cops, just like, as well as judge and everything. Everybody look at us like we're the bad people. Everybody looks at us like, oh, they're just mean assholes for no reason. A lot of this stuff, they see, they see domestic violence, they see the gangs, they see all of this crazy stuff, and they have to put up a wall. She said one solution to this system could be very well having a therapist, going through sessions while on the job. If you're there for years on end, you're in there for decades, they should be evaluated every few months, because they become traumatized. They become a victim to who they have to work with. She said it's a high rate of alcoholism, and that's why you hear about all these police officers and DUIs and going crazy. It's a lot of divorce that go on. So when they going through personal stuff at home, they go out on the streets and they take it out on these innocent people, forgetting that these people have a family. The damn guy that just died was a cafeteria worker in a school. Philando. You killed him in front of his damn daughter. So do you really care about life at this point? I mean, I value mine, but do you really care about life at this point? Because you just took somebody's life in front of their child.
It's crazy. That
was sickening.
When I saw that, when she went live with that, I was just like, you know how much traumatization that is for that 4-year-old, because
right.
She's 4-year-olds. You remember things. And that kind of thing is like, now you just ripped her dad away from her. Actually, I think it was her stepdad, because I think it was the girlfriend's daughter. Mm-hmm. But still, a father figure in her life, you ripped that away from her, and that just pops back to our whole daddy complex. It's like you're not only destroying a family, you're just destroying friends and family and things. It's just, I don't know. I guess I don't get how someone is like, this cop, or cops, they have these families, and you go shoot and kill someone and break up their family. It's like, do you not think about if this were to happen to you? It's like if someone were to shoot you, how your family would be if you were no longer in the world.
And but then having to see it repeatedly in the media,
it's just crazy.
Now that's the only thing that I do have about these Dallas police officers. Maybe I'm just tired of watching the news and stuff, but they're not repeatedly, it's not repeatedly being shown. Now, Sterling and what is it, Philandro, and everybody else from Trayvon Martin and all stuff, they showed that video repeatedly. These people's children and wives, because most of them be married, and grandmothers and moms, everybody has to continuously see these damn videos of their loved ones being attacked and murdered on the TV screen, on top of already going through a trial to get justice for them.
It's like you just sitting back and you just thinking about it. It's like you have no heart. You really have no heart to do something like that. But I don't know. I hope that the things that we are doing with the protesting and the marching, and hopefully we can come together in a peaceful manner and get some things resolved. I wish I knew what I could do to instantly make this go away, or instantly make this just smoother, just better, because it's scary. It's like you're so concerned about, one is like you hear about the shootings that happens in movie theaters. You hear about shootings that happen in church. You hear about shootings that happen in school. And it's just like, what? You are really pushing me just to my home. And it's just crazy about all the senseless
I wonder what
violence.
people think about gun control right now, since, guns kill people, not people killing people, when it comes to the damn cops. I watched this video of this white man in what it seemed to be like a little restaurant, little walk-in diner type thing. He was very irate. The cops tackled him and tried to arrest him, and this fool broke out of the handcuffs, took the taser, and tased the damn cops. Where was y'all guns at? Yeah. Where was y'all strength at right there? That's the stuff that pisses me off.
I mean, and that's a lot of things that's making a lot of black people mad. It's like, okay, we're giving you prime examples of what is called white privilege. And y'all don't do the same thing. Hell, I was in a situation myself when I was out with a guy, and a gun situation. I'm not going to go into details of what happened, but nonetheless, he walked up to the officer and he was like, we needed some assistance with the police. And he, told the police officer, hey, I do have a gun on me. It is licensed. Showing
same thing
paper.
Like the guy in the car that just died.
Same situation. And the thing about it is, did the cop pull the gun on me and him? No. He was like, oh, okay, let me see it. And even the cop didn't even reach for their gun to be like, oh, wait a minute, you got guns on you. It wasn't even like that. And once again, I hate to be like this, my date was a white man. But no guns were pulled out on him when he said the same thing, that Philando was saying, like, I got a gun on me. Mm-hmm. I got, a permit to carry, but he gets shot 4 times. So some people want to put the blind eye to some of this racism, and they want to point the finger and saying that, black people are only ones to see things black and white. That's not true. And it's definitely, when people have been complaining about the hashtag of Black Lives Matter, and they're like, oh no, it's all lives matter, or blue lives matter, purple, orange, green. We're not saying that. The hashtag is not saying only Black Lives Matter. It's not saying that. It's saying that if you are looking recently of the shootings that's been going on, it's been black men that are dying. And it's senseless. Right. So when we put Black Lives Matter, we're not saying Black Lives Matter only, so we don't care about the other races. It has nothing to do with that. It's just basically saying what is going on. Black Lives Matter. Two, in addition, it's not saying Black lives are the only ones that matter. White people can die, Asians can die, Hispanics can die.
And that's another thing that I had to address, but I wasn't going to. Black Lives Matter, yes. 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 We also are talking about the Brown. The same time that this stuff happened, Nunez, is that how you say his last name? Anthony Nunez died on the 4th of July in the hands of San Diego PD. If anybody also knows, LAPD is off the hook too. It's not only the South. So yes, all lives matter. The black and the brown is getting the worst of it though. Let's just be fucking real. They're getting the worst of it. And don't think that we're not on the Hispanic side either. We see it because they label you cholas and cholos and thugs as well.
I mean,
but the only way that they try to get the Hispanics is automatically deporting them.
And they keep saying, and I think this is cute too. They say, well, why are we not in an uproar over when you black people kill other black people? I'm part of it, and I know I'm not the only one. I'm not solo. We don't like anybody dying.
Right.
We don't like to sit here and shoot one another. We don't like to kill one another. We get upset to hear about black people killing other black people. It actually hurts us because we're like, come on, we need to band together and not divide. Talking about divide, I like the fact that, once again, shout out to my Atlanta people, how I saw Bloods and Crips came together. That was like, okay, all right, our gang members is coming out and being peaceful together. That's a shocker because I hadn't seen that at all. So, I mean, just going back to saying, people are saying that, well, black people killing black people, why aren't we upset? We are upset. We don't like to hear about, especially don't like to hear about black people killing other black people. We just don't like senseless violence. Period. Against anyone.
Because we have to deal with that already, as some people may know, since we gotta talk about it, we already have to deal with that in our neighborhood. Well, for certain of us that do or have lived in urban areas, we already have to deal with, I have to worry about if my daughter or my son is going to make it home. We have to worry about that already because of the ignorance and the senseless violence going on between the gangs in our neighborhood. So now, we have to deal with everybody else killing us too. Black Lives Matter, once again, is the movement just to stop the violence, period.
Right, and also, and it doesn't mean these Black Lives Matter movements are not just for black people. That's another thing. People are like, oh, these just for black people. No, there's white people that is marching along with us. There's Hispanic people. This is open to anybody. It's open to anybody that see that the unjust against African Americans, period. And that's what it is. It's like, it just kind of gets me when it's like it's almost like we're not allowed to be upset about us people the dying.
Genocide that they're trying to create, because that's what it seems like, the damn genocide. Trying to get rid of us, but you can't get rid of us. And
I mean, I also think me and my sister had a conversation about this too. I hate to scare you a little bit, but I mean, our minorities are becoming the majorities, and white people becoming minorities.
Yeah, and that's why they want Trump.
And I think that they're seeing that, they're like, we're getting smaller, and the minorities are getting larger, and
because we're starting to get.
And
I don't want to say that. We're starting to get what they took from us. I watched a movie about this. I watched a documentary about this. We had riches. We wasn't always slaves. And they snatched it right away from us, just like they snatched everything else. I don't like getting into this because growing up, I see no color. And both of us sitting here have the freaking rainbow in our family members. So we feel like we could talk about this. You know, my ancestors were Irish. We can talk about this. I just feel that, I mean, it is call a spade a spade. It's racism. It's period, and it's alive and it's well when you think it's dead. It's not.
It hasn't died. But I think white people are getting afraid that they're like, oh no, the shit that we did to them, ancestors, and what we're doing to them now, it's payback. They feel like they're like, okay, it's payback time. They're gonna get us back, and they're afraid of that we're gonna do to them what they did to us.
But guess what? The reality is, excuse my language, the reality is we really don't give a fuck about them. All we want, we want to come up ourselves. We too busy trying to worry about our living situation, our finances. We don't want to bother them. We don't want to take anything that they have. We just all want to be on the same level. Exactly. Clearly, the government is already bringing everybody down, from the whites to us, because there is no more middle class. You used to be, you know, you could be middle class and be cool. You could be, you know, poor and at least have the opportunity to make it to middle class. We now have working poor, because it exists.
I'm working poor.
It exists. And you have the rich, and the rich can't care any less. They enjoy watching us grovel and try to be like them and try to have what they have and try to make it the way that they make it. So really, all of this racism, we have no choice but to mind our business. All we want is just to be equal.
Speaking of rich people, this is what I also thought was kind of funny too, is how people are going on, and because I've been seeing a ton of videos, my brain cannot take any more videos, but I've been watching tons of videos. And I mean, they've been great videos, but there's a lot of people that's like pointing fingers or calling out all these celebrities. Where's Jay-Z? Where's Beyonce? Where's this? Where's that? I'm like, these people do have money, yes, but money is not going to buy us our freedom
or money lives back.
It's not going to bring lives back. It's not going to bring any form of freedom. It's not going to buy laws and laws to be changed or anything like that. So calling out celebrities with money, that's just not going to do anything as far as the laws and things like that goes. Now, I understand when they're calling them out, saying, why don't these wealthy black, affluent people open up businesses and stuff like that, so that, we have these black owned businesses. But to try to call them out and saying they have this money, they need to be doing X, Y, and Z for the community and doing it and buying this and shelling out money there and here. It's like, it's really not their obligation to, to use their money that way. Like, I'm all for them to use their money if they're going to do black businesses, because that makes sense. But I know I just have a problem when they always calling out these celebrities. It's like, well, why don't you call out just us regular folks and see what we can do, come together as one to do some things.
It's too late. I mean, it's never too late to fix the situation, but y'all calling them out, trying to expect for them to just build a miracle. They already invest in these companies where they're spending money and have contracts
and
with.
They got white investors.
White investors. Thank you. So, I mean, they can only do but so much. That's not what they money gonna do. They gonna pay off a cop so the cop don't beat another black man to death?
I don't think cops really like Beyonce since this whole
What they gonna do? What are they gonna do? They're gonna pay off another cop to not kill another man if they don't feel like it.
Like
money
said,
is not everything.
It's
not gonna cure anything.
Exactly. But what needs to happen basically is that we do, as a black race, as African Americans, we do need to actually wake up and educate ourselves. Educate ourselves. Because you know that's what they're doing. They're out there educating, reading books, Googling, doing whatever. They're educating themselves. And that's what we need to do, is educate ourselves. We also need to band together. And banding together is not coming together to do riots. It's not coming together to burn our own communities. That's not doing anything, because you know why? Y'all still have to live in these communities. And if you burn it down, where you going to shop? I mean, even because y'all are burning down communities that y'all want to have these beautiful Black-owned businesses, but let's keep it funky. Let's keep it 1,000. No Black person is going to put their business in a community where y'all are going to have these riots and burn the shit down. Because I'll be damned if I'd invested my time, my energy to try to help my community, and y'all burn my shit down because like I said, you're angry and you feel like this is going to help something. So I want my Black people, and like I said, I'm always going to praise my Atlanta people because they did a beautiful job down there on Friday. I just wish that they would have went home at a proper time. But nonetheless, we did keep it peaceful. That's what we need to continue to do, is if we're going to do these marches and protests, let's do them, get them organized, get them planned, keep them peaceful, keep them nonviolent. And outside of that, educate, and also teach your kids, because that's where racism is just not something that you wake up and have. It's taught. Mm-hmm. So if you teach your kids to dislike a different race or gender or whatever the case may be, that's how your child is going to be. And that's why the generation, it keeps happening. That's another way to end racism. And it may stop teaching it.
It's teaching the kids, and it may not necessarily come from mom and dad, but guess what? You have to see. I feel like my mom, she used to talk to us about everything and be in our business about everything and ask us how we feel. We seen a movie that had to do with same sex. She asked us after the movie about the scene, how did you feel about this? If we seen a racist movie, how did you feel about that? So if it's not coming from mom and dad, also start talking to your kids and asking your kids, well, where did you hear this from? Oh, well, Uncle Jamie said such and such. You need to start asking your kids and watching who you have around your kids. Not saying that you should just keep your kids away from anybody that's negative, because, I mean, we all have those family members that's just way off the hook. But, ask your kids questions, talk to them, teach them, and, try to monitor the company that you keep around them, because you might not be that way, but a friend that comes around might, and if you don't say nothing to them, kids listen to everything. Kids pick up everything. It might be an auntie, an uncle, a cousin, somebody at school, a teacher, a babysitter, whatever. Just talk to them, and that's how you can kind of control the situation. You can't keep them from the world. You can't keep them from life, but everything starts at home. Racism is not something that taught. They just come out.
Yeah, it's taught. So, I mean, I hope that we do start to see some positive changes in the communities, and, hopefully we won't have any more people dying. It's just sad because, like I said, I have 2 young Black boys that, I'm raising to be Black men, and it's just scary for me to let them go out in the world, and I'm not going to be there to protect them. But hopefully our discussion tonight, helped you or gave you some insight, or make you spark up a conversation, with your friends, with your family, and, get conversations started, and that you can start to make changes, even within your small, your neighborhood or whatever. Just anything. Like I said, the smallest things make the loudest noises. So, me and Mac, I appreciate all of you guys tuning in.
Yes, and I hope you enjoyed this treat of a 45-minute show tonight.
And we also appreciate those who were chiming in.
Yes,
and talking to
followers.
Us. Love that. And people making comments on Instagram. We encourage you guys to leave comments or questions or anything on the Instagram page. Again, it's the Coffee Comment. You can find us on Instagram. You can also go to Glitter Coffee and Thing Instagram. You can go to the Facebook and, leave comments. Talk to us on Sundays. So We'll be back next Sunday. Sunday when we'll be talking about back to our relationship series where we could talk about sex.
This is gonna be fun. So yeah, you can find us on YouTube, Glitter and Coffee Things, Instagram, Spreaker.com, all the websites. And that's it.